Hi, Anne. So, just wanted to put together a video for you just for the next couple of months or however long it is before you get back to me, just to kind of things that you can be doing to improve your singing over time. And if you do these things on a reasonably regular basis, that will kind of level up just about everything about your singing. So we'll get into it now. So the first thing is the breathing. Okay, so now, this takes a little bit of getting used to, right? But we went through over it in the lesson that we did about breathing low down into the belly, okay? So you can just start without any particular timing or anything like that, just getting used to the movement. So if it helps to kind of put your hand on your belly, just to have it here and make sure that there's not a little bit is okay, but no major movement here or in your shoulders. It should all be concentrated down here. So if you just start off, maybe you'll see it better from the side. So that's what we want. Essentially, the best way I can put it is you're trying to make a balloon with your belly. Now, the reason why that's important is because if you breathe up here, there's a lot of pressure on it. You kind of just want to throw it all back out as quickly as it goes in. So when, on the other hand, though, you breathe into the belly, you have a lot more control over the release. And eventually, maybe not right away, but eventually you will actually be able to take in more air that way as well. So do you absolutely have to do it for singing? No, but there's really, in terms of the quality of your vocals, there's really no downside. So ideally, what I want you to do is try to get into the habit of doing that every single time you go to sing anything at all. So just make sure the posture posture doesn't need to be terribly specific, just mainly straight up and looking up and out. Okay, so just to start off, a couple of breaths. Now, if you think you're doing it wrong because it doesn't feel comfortable, you're probably doing it right. It doesn't really. It feels a bit odd at first. It's a little bit awkward, but you do get used to it. And so once you're used to the kind of the general mechanism of it, and you've kind of got it down, what I want you to do is 3 for each. So we're going to go in for 3 and out for 5. So and out. So that 3 times, and as well as that, in for 5, out for 8, and in for 7, out for 11, right? So obviously, so we want to be completely empty at the start of the inhale, and only just full by the end of it, right? So you might do it once, and then you'd have to adjust your kind of rate of inhale and exhale just to make sure that you make that kind of point of being completely empty and completely full just after just at the kind of the time limit, whatever it happens to be. And when you're doing a long exhale, just make sure it's kind of tempting to kind of go, to kind of resist the air with your lips, but obviously you won't be doing that when you're singing, and that kind of defeats the purpose because we want all of that control to be happening from the diaphragm. The diaphragm is just the muscle underneath your lungs that kind of pushes and pulls the air in and out. So in for 3, out for 5, 3 times, in for 5, out for 8, 3 times, and in for 7, out for 11, 3 times, just as a kind of a quick breathing warm-up. So that doing those exercises plus getting into the habit of doing it every single time, after a couple of weeks of doing that, you'll get used to it enough to start feeling the benefit of it. There really is no comparison. Once you get into the habit of it, everything becomes easier. Your control is much better. Okay, so that's just that on the breathing. So moving on then to melody. I want you to be singing the major scale. So now what I'll send on to you as well, along with this video, is just a website that can play the major scale for you, just so you know what it sounds like. Now, the reason the major scale matters is because if we're in a major key, let's say, which much more often than not we will be, that's the framework of notes, let's say, that we're selecting from. So there are 12 musical notes in total, but in any given key, there's a certain selection of 7 out of those 12, right? So that's what the major scale is. Okay, so I'll sing it for you here. We'll do it in G. So we're going to start off. ah. Now that's a relatively low note, right? So make sure it's not too whispery. Make sure it's clear, crisp. So instead of ah, try to get it a little harder. Ah, so chin down. Kind of relax everything here so there's a nice clean open channel, and move the note around a little bit. Just stay on that G note for a little while, and try to change the tone of it. See what works, see what resonates, see what kind of cuts through a little bit better. So once you've established that note, that G note, we'll just go up the scale. So here's the G major scale. And a little sustain at the top as well, just to kind of make the most out of that big breath. So big belly breath. And really listen to yourself as you're doing it. Because, as I said, if you can navigate that scale better, then you can navigate just about any song better, because that's the selection of notes. If the song is in the key of G, then it's those 7 notes that we're most likely to be singing. And of course, we can take it back down again. And make sure that there's not too much of a drop off in volume as you come back down as well. So you need to change the tone a little bit from to a more cutting tone. So there's that. I'll send you on. So obviously that's just a G. So like if it was to be A, let's say, there's an A note there. And as well, we want to try and avoid sliding. So now that may or may not be appropriate depending on what it is you're singing. It kind of depends on the genre, I guess, or the style that you're singing. But for the exercise, the scales, we want to completely avoid that. So you're here, then you're here, then you're here, then you're here, right? Just so kind of discrete separation between the notes. And a little extra puff of air. That little extra push can kind of get you up to that note a little bit quicker. So that's another thing, just singing the major scales. So just pick some note to start from, and as I said, you can do this very easily in this little website I'm going to send on to you as well. Just sing that major scale, get into the habit of it, and sing it as accurately as you can, listening to the pitch of the notes that the thing is playing back to you, which, as I said, will be in that link I send you, and make sure you're in tune with it every step of the way. Very important. The next thing I want you to try is vibrato. So what is vibrato, first of all? Vibrato is just pitch variance. So that's no vibrato, and that's vibrato. So what are we doing? In order to kind of figure out how to do it, the best way to do it is just start off very slowly and kind of a bit over the top with it. So what I mean is just going up and down on it like that. And so that's what vibrato is, right? It's just the pitch going up and down. You can do it quickly or slowly, and you can do it intensely or subtly, right? So intense means a large variation in the pitch, really going up and down, or just so like that, so kind of a little bit over the top, or just a kind of a little subtle wobble in the note. So to find that, just to kind of figure out the mechanism, so how, if you're wondering, okay, how exactly do I do that? Just start off, just pick a sort of a note and just go above and below it. And then once you're used to that kind of movement of the pitch, just speed it up slightly. And that's pretty much it. Then you have it, and you can do that as well at the end of your scale. So, for example, so develop the vibrato on any note at all that's long enough to take it. Just try to put that little bit of a wobble on there as well. And as I said, that's the process for kind of discovering how to do it, is just do it very roughly and slowly and, kind of over the top. And then just kind of dial it back a little bit. Bring the pitch variance down a bit, so not quite so just kind of make it a bit more subtle than that and try if you can just to speed it up a little bit from there. Okay, so just then for a quick example, the only real example we jumped into in the lesson was The Power of Two by Indigo Girls. So when it comes to it, what I want you to do, whatever you're singing, break it down, right? So the chorus is so we're okay, we're fine. By the way, the key of that is yeah. So that's the C. That's C. So you might, as a warm up, select the C major scale on the website I'm going to send you, and then that'll be okay, so there's your C major scale, right? And as I said, the website can play that for you. And so what I want you to do is we'll take the line, so we're okay, we're fine, baby, I'm here to stop your crying. So take it note by note. So we're okay, and face goes up with it. Okay, we're fine, baby, I'm here to stop your crying. Slowly through it, making sure that you're right where you need to be every step of the way, and then gradually speed it up. And always project. Remember that projection never happens by itself. You always need to kind of posture up, upwards and outwards. So solid on that first note. So we're okay. Do it slowly a couple of times and then bring the tempo back in, the speed. So we're okay, we're fine. And always, before every line, big belly breath. Baby, I'm here to stop your crying. And always with those higher notes, hoist yourself up on it and always listen all the way through. And I want you to try and apply that technique to just about any song that you sing. Listen to the line, slow it down to a crawl, do it slowly enough that you can hit every note and be sure you're in the right place for it before you move on to the next one. So that's pretty slow. So we're okay. Okay, that's it. So little quicker, and you're getting the feel for the pitch each time you do that. Then bring the speed back into it. And I want you to try to do that with, as I said, every song you sing. And eventually, so really kind of get into the nitty gritty of it, get into the details of it, and then listen to yourself as you do it, and then bring the speed back in gradually. Okay, so those 4 main points, that's plenty to be getting on with for the next couple of months. So the breathing exercises, into the belly, in for 3, out for 5, in for 5, out for 8, in for 7, out for 11, three times each. Take about 5 minutes or so. The major scale, which, as I said, you can get off that video or the website I'm going to send you. The vibrato, sort of went through the mechanism of how to find your vibrato and then how to kind of make it a bit more subtle, a bit more musical, and then your approach to songs, right? Breaking them down note by note by note, and maybe singing the relevant major scale to go with it. So just in the case of The Power of Two, that'll be the C major scale. And for any other song, like let's say Christopher Sweet by Brian Kennedy, if you just for any song, if you just Google or do a sort of a Google AI thing, what key is such and such by so and so, and you'll get the answer, and then you can just play the corresponding major scale as a warm up before you sing it. Okay, so hope to hear from you soon, and. Let me, and in the next couple of weeks or so, you might let me know how you get on with all this stuff, and I'll see you soon. Have a good one. Bye bye.